Welcome to this episode of Back to the Story, where friends come together to play Dungeons and Dragons. I'll be your DM, Klaus. Let's get started.
When you see God's rest surrounded by armies, then know that his desolation has come near.
It is my destiny, not yours.
Really, it doesn't fucking matter if I'm ready or not. I have to deal with the end of the world, and I'm not ready for that.
The reason why any of us are enough for anything is because we have each other.
Everyone can change, not everyone will, but everyone can.
And every day has been beautiful since.
For these are the days of vengeance, to fulfill all that is written.
Yes, I know we all want to compare our god's dick sizes right now.
My glory is to protect. My virtue is sacrifice.
My curiosity is satisfied.
For your sins, I will allow you to seek the knowledge.
Have the courage to do what's right and not what's written.
And God's rest will be trampled underfoot by the heretics until the times of the harbingers are fulfilled.
We've gotten through this before. We can do it again.
You got this.
One more time.
Previously, as the Bronze Scales make preparations for their conflict with the Harbingers, they find themselves beneath the Nor in a forest of mushrooms. While traveling through this bioluminescent space, Felix and Eisley worked on making the Ring of Mind caging designed by Millie and Felix. The Scales gifted wine and suggested their way around a conflict with the Ulani, a group of bat-mounted Umbrameri elves with the stone giant carved pillar's face leading them in the right direction. The Scales found a river flowing through a twisted tunnel, following it eventually to find a grand cavern housing an enormous lake, with a distant alien city dimly glowing upon an island in its center. Felix used an arcane eye to spy upon the city, witnessing its mind-controlled stone giant patrols, strange orb spotlights, and into the temple-like pyramid itself, housing a still-growing elder-brained, a mind flayer, and some sort of dendritic machination. We come back to the story here. After resting the night nearby, you awake and begin to prepare yourself for the infiltration and assault upon the pyramid. The cavern air is moist and heavy, and you can hear the occasional heavy footfall of the giants rotating and the buzzing of the strange energy through the city's circuits. You are still on this island. We'll pick up smaller outside of the main city and island itself. What would you like to do?
All right. Well, I hope you all got a good amount of sleep. During my meditations this evening, I ran battle simulations in my head, trying to figure out the best way to attack this scenario. Upon rethinking of what I saw, and I just want to go over our options again. I do believe that the most effective means of taking on this place is to go directly for the brain. If we cut off the head, then we should be able to easily take our time without disrupting anything else through the rest. However, thinking back on how it was arranged, we could probably get, presuming the teleportation works, into the room with the rift or connection to the spinal cord fairly easily and block ourselves in there. If we're quiet, we may go unaware. The problem is, if we need anything outside of that room, we have to fight our way through to the brain instead of jumping on top of it.
Well, the notes say we need to find a crystal index. Did you see what room something like that might be in?
God, I know there was the black crystal in the spinal tap room. Thank you to Swan for that name. And was there anything else maybe in the brain chamber?
Not specifically that you remember. You do remember seeing that crystal, the darker one, embedded in the machination. but I'm not sure if you were specifically looking anywhere else, and I don't think you noticed anything else beyond that was obvious, at least.
I don't think so. It very likely could mean those crystals in that room. So we may be able to get through, but I don't know. I don't like this thing probing into the very nervous system of our planet.
I feel like, given our past experiences, we might be better off just blasting our way in and not trying to take the sneaky approach. Some of us are good at sneaking, but...
Right, but if everything we need, if that is the index there in the room with the dendritis, maybe we should just go there, cast silence, and hope for the best. Make it as quick as possible, and maybe there's a way to essentially seal the door after us. Once we get to the spine, maybe we can break their connection. But let's do that from the spine.
We can always fight our way out as a last resort.
It is a much worse position and through several more enemies, including several giants, if we have to.
Were you able to see anything that might be, I don't know, traps or some kind of alert system?
I couldn't really interact with anything, and I was trying to get through as much of it as I could in the amount of time I had left. I didn't have a chance to get a good look. I have charged Pino with the ability to lock things. So if we do want to, rather than just rely on Amson's Wall of Force, we can have that be our backup if we hear anything. I'm prepared to take this. I just think it will be much worse if we end up in a fight down there. Or this thing is smart. It will have defenses around whatever this is.
How big was the room that this brain was in?
It was a long rectangle, maybe 40 or 50 feet wide, long, though 90, 100. The brain would have been in this, it sort of rounds off at the end, a bit like a dick, and the brain was in the head. It's all I could think of to describe it. I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize to us.
It makes sense.
It might tell you something about the way this thing thinks.
Wait, what?
Okay. My concern is if everything we need is in the dendritis chamber, why fight our way to it? If we kill the brain, would it kill all the other guards?
Best I can tell, they did not appear to be living or willing creatures at the very least, and based on what we know of this creature and how it works, I think it would sever the connection.
And if they are unwilling, maybe if we sever the connection, we can have them aid us instead of it. They are giants after all, I think. I could talk to them.
So that means we're going for the brain then, right? I have a few things that might make it easier. I have freedom of movement. I don't need to concentrate on that. I can give a couple of people that. But if we're going against the brain, we might want to use everything we got.
And stay as far back as we can.
Yes.
My best estimate is I can keep us about 70 feet. That's right against the door. There's a couple giants right on the other side of it, so we'll need to keep it closed. If we get in there, I can have Pino lock it, but timing.
If the door breaks open, would you like me to block it off with the Wall of Force?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think you should save one of those for that. If we can keep the giants out of the fight and keep it focused on just the two in the room, possibly 3. I don't know what those spotlights are.
Hit it fast, hit it hard.
based on what we know it's not fast. So if you can exploit that, anything that it can't avoid, we might be able to burn through it quickly.
And do we know anything about this creature that's tending it, or...
Do I know anything about mind flayers?
I'll say make a intelligence check. At disadvantage, I'll say. Unless you have maybe history or arcana, you can try one of those, but at disadvantage. This is pretty niche knowledge.
In my defense, I do dive into pretty fucked up places in my past, but I will do history.
That is true. That is true.
If you let me do history at disadvantage, I think I'll be okay.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. You can use your proficiency bonus since you do have that in your background.
Okay. It is not a great roll, but that is 21.
During some pre-research to one of those expeditions in your past, there was a time when you came upon a drawing of which you can only assume is this creature, which you wrote off as just some maybe illusion or just some deep underdark monster. What you saw through the arcane eye in there of the illithid or the mind flayer seems to correlate. Remembering as best you can back with whatever photographic memory you may have about whatever notes were on that document, you remember these creatures are supposedly, according to that report, capable of things using just their mind. They don't practice magic in the same way that other wizards or other arcane practitioners might. What they require, components and otherwise, to do so are different, if they can do it at all. But one thing was certain is that they have a propensity for some sort of psionic abilities, and that they seem to devour or collect brain matter to take in that knowledge and energy and thought themselves or grant it to some larger force.
I will relay that. Most of you are probably fine then, but stay away from its face, and he will crack a smile.
I mean, from what you described, I don't think I want to go near its face anyway.
If anybody is particularly... I imagine they would have to get pretty close, right? To suck our brains out of our heads.
Likely, yes.
If anybody is particularly worried, like probably myself, I can cast freedom of movement on you.
I think giving that to Ball, at least, he's most effective up close.
Maybe while you're saying that, Ball kind of rummages through his backpack and he's like, and he shows you a kind of like a thick, sludgy oil. And he says, this should do the trick, but there's not enough for me. Maybe for one of you.
The fuck is that?
Paul says, it should do the same thing that Thompson is saying. It should make you difficult to hold down. Make your movements freer.
I mean, Felix and I are the two that also get close to things usually.
I may have to play this fight a little differently. I usually attack the mind, and I found out last time that that's probably not going to work on this thing. I may be also staying pretty far away.
I kind of slap Vesper's shoulder. Okay, good luck.
I mean, I got
Have fun up
stunned pretty
front.
badly last time, so I also probably want to keep my distance. But, yeah. I will reluctantly hold my hand out for the bottle.
Well, I don't think that this will protect you from the mind blast, but just in case, Amson, I made the ring of mind shielding today. If you're going in with me, I'm fairly confident in my defense against mental assault, but if something tries to detect your thoughts, This will prevent that.
That would be lovely. I'm not too bad against charms, but pretty much anything else I'm pretty terrible at. So
you'll have to attune to it, but I can take the orb.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay. It also means I think I can communicate with everyone but Ellery, because I've given out all of my magic items today.
Does Ellery still have the wand?
No, I traded that for Vesper's dagger.
Okay.
And Ball, you have psychic resistance today.
Ooh, thank you. Make a note there.
Yeah, you'll notice a little faint scrawling on your armor that isn't usually there.
Is anyone going to be casting Freedom of Movement on Ball? Or is that...
I will do that. Boom.
Yeah, we'll assume we'll do that right before we go so we can still chat and we'll have the full hour.
Yep. I'm also going to cast Mage Armor on myself.
Yeah. I've got 2 scrolls of Longstrider, so I will give that to Vesper and Ball right before we go, because that's an hour.
Ball might as well cast Protection from Evil and Good before we go. If the concentration drops, so be it, but it's like a level 1 spell that is worth starting with.
Okay, so Ball, how close do you want to be when we get in the room? Because you're the only one, I presume, that needs to get up and face. The rest of us are probably going to cower against the wall like, well, intelligent people.
I suppose the closer the better. If things get fiery, it's actually maybe better if I'm further from you. All of you.
All right. If I get about 30 feet from the door, someone else will have to use Pinot to lock it, but if someone can do that, he's available. But then I can stay kind of in the middle. I'll be able to protect Ball, and I trust me surviving that blast, no offense, more than any of you. And if I stay close enough to Ball, I might be able to help protect him a little bit.
And then I guess I can run back as far as I can. Try and stay out of the range of that. And get as much damage as I can right away.
Yeah, I think if you just hit it hard, remember that it can't move, and the rest of us will try and weaken it. I may be able to keep the smaller one distracted. I don't know what his abilities are, but if it works, he's out of the picture at least for a minute.
Do we have anything else that we want to put forward? Confessions we want to make? Do we want to tell each other that we love each other before we go?
No one says they love each other.
No.
The awkward silence is palpable.
I mean, I've already said it once to each of you, except Felix.
Please don't.
Felix, you should know.
Okay, can we get a move on, everyone?
Felix, it's the last time we'll be able to tell you this.
I want to die. I just want... I hope. Free me from this mortal coil.
So what are you guys doing? Are you all still getting almost everyone in the sphere, except for Felix and Amson, who are flying towards the pyramid?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and once you're there, you're still planning to try to dimension door into the brain room?
Yes, I don't think I'm going to bother with the tiny servant running around this time. I think that was a very sleepy idea that is honestly not going to help all that much.
Okay, and so how the others that are inside, you can communicate with them. How are you planning to communicate for them to presumably come out? Are you going to wait till it's your turn and as a free action say come out and then
I
they
mean,
do,
I assume on my turn, dimension door in, free action tell them to come out. And I actually have to use a bonus to tell Pino to come out because I can't dimension door him and Amson at the same time.
Okay. So everyone in the sphere is just kind of being prepared to exit. Whoever's flying the staff, the firmament staff between Felix and Amson, give me a stealth check.
I will
As you begin to get everyone in the sphere, begin to rise up, you two flying up across the waters. You can hear the buzzing.
Were you making us invisible?
Yeah.
I mean, it'll go away when I dimension door in, but you'll still be invisible.
Yeah. We can still do that. Which I've already minus that spell slot anyways, so we're good.
Okay, so you're invisible.
Sorry, are we worrying about like buffing up yet, or we're going to do that after?
Yeah, I think this is the moment right before we get on the brew or the stick, we'll all cast our buffs and get ready. There's only going to be a minute or two to fly over there.
Okay. All right. So I'll make note of all the buffs I'm about to do.
So roll stealth. Whoever's flying, driving, at advantage since you're invisible.
That's a natural 20, and I just wanted to roll for fun. That's a 15 plus 12 is 27, so 32.
So flying above the still, heavy water, minerals, towards the buzzing of this pulsing purple circuited city, ancient and ruined. You see the pyramidal structure rising above most of it up on the hill. Purple light kind of cascading from the glass dome at the top. You can hear and see these stone giants rotating around, almost mindlessly in an exact pattern. No movements besides the rigid motion. And you see buzzing as well, the strange orbs that Felix described. These small, maybe the size of like a golf ball, glowing with purple light. They project spotlights out, and they're kind of flying around searching. You fly between building to building, waiting for the stone giants to pass, dashing across the streets and alleyways between the spotlighted sentinels as you make your way up to the pyramid. There are circuits that reach up like growing ancient vines upon the strange metal of this building. Circuits that go up towards the top. Fly up along the wall, hugging it close so as not to stand out as you rise up towards the top where the glassed, it's not a dome, it's just a flat glass platform, directly beneath which is the brain. You can kind of see into the room, peering over the edge. You can see the other figure working at a table, and one of those spotlight sentinel spheres floating nearby. What do you do?
I think I just want to watch for 30 seconds. Just see if he does anything weird, if there's any kind of motion like we're already detected.
A few seconds go by. Nothing major seems to happen. You can see the tentacled faced individual working on some device at one of the tables.
All right. I think to everybody, all right, everyone get ready. And tell Amson, all right, you ready?
I think so. Do you want silence or wall of force first? Just checking, making sure.
Actually, if you could, do you want to use Pino to lock the door and then you can save Wall of Force? Ooh. I would prefer Wall of Force. Pino will have to be starting in the sphere, but I'll command him to come out as soon as I pour it in.
Yes, I could do that. Gotcha.
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right. I give everyone a count in the thing. I hold my breath and grab the cloak. And I bamf in.
Does that look about where you want to be?
That's perfect.
Okay. Everyone roll initiative.
Oh boy.
Man,
Please roll
I
high.
haven't rolled any of my dice.
Yes.
That's a good start.
Okay.
Dirty 20 for me.
Natural 20 for 19 for Ball.
17 for Vesper.
Dirty 20.
Good, we're doing good.
Damn! Look at those
Good job, bud.
rolls. 19, 20, 19, 17, 20.
Yo.
Watch him roll.
I am
You're
casting-
front-loaded like heck, aren't you?
I am going to cast Protection from Evil and... I put it in the chat, but I'm going to cast Protection from Evil and Good as soon as I hear Felix go okay and start giving the countdown. I'm going to cast it at point to...
Okay, yeah.
And yeah, maybe just for the audience as well, Ball will coat his weapon with poison, cast Protection from Good and Evil on Ellery, activate his Ruby Crown. I think this time Ball actually just puts the crown on his head. He wants less things in his way, so he just puts it on his head, activates that, and he also triggers his Mantle of Flame.
I'm sure my hood should be active. I don't know if it's just that we're...
Okay. Ellery, I'll fix it in a second. Ellery, what is your dex score?
My dex is 16.
Okay. So Ellery will be ahead of Amson. The top of this notebook paper is very busy. That bodes well. Okay. Fix this. Okay. So as the cloak is pulled, billowing up into smoke, and there's a shift, as your vision is filled with it, you suddenly appear within this room, long and staged, as stairs kind of lead up to these various platforms, leading up to this final pool, where you can hear the buzzing of the brain itself. There are circuits all along the walls, floors, and even the ceilings, high ceilings, maybe 30 feet, that seem to either draw energy from or divert it to or towards the brain. There's a couple work tables on the sides, one of which has the tentacled mind flayer working on some device as you're behind. And so I'm like trying to figure out how to do the surprise. So Felix, that is your action.
Okay. My bonus action will be to command Pino to come out. And as a free action, can I drop the sphere where it is? Like just on the ground in my space?
I think, yeah, that's reasonable.
Okay. I'm still going to stay there this turn and just kind of shield up. Sad because it's not magical today. And prepare. And then immediately after my turn, Pino will use his action to come out, and he's going to fly towards the door. He acts on my initiative after me.
Okay,
Yes.
anything
Nope.
else for you, Felix?
That's it.
Okay, that will bring us up to Ellery.
Okay. I come out of the sphere. Could you drop me where I would be on the map? Because right now I can't see anything.
Yeah, so you use your action to kind of push through the sphere,
Mm-hmm.
coming into
Oh.
this room.
Let me kind of zoom on the map so I can see where I am. My original plan is not looking that great at the moment for what I was going to do first.
So you really have like movement, and then if you have a bonus action as well. Since you
Yeah,
use
it's
your
just
action to exit the sphere.
The distances are making things a little bit less than ideal. Okay, what I'm going to do instead of my original plan is I'm going to drop Storm Sphere up where the brain is supposedly,
So that's normally an action, isn't it?
and I'm going to use sorcery points to cast it as a bonus action.
Okay. The wind begins to pick up. Electricity surging, lifting up whatever loose bits of pieces, spinning them around. And I'll put that on the board. Anything else for you?
And any creature within that sphere, when it appears, has to make a strength saving throw.
How big is the sphere again?
20-foot radius.
Fail. Roll damage.
So that'll be not a lot of damage, but... Oh, okay. That's nice. I rolled max damage, so that's 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And that sphere, that area is now difficult terrain. And then I am going to... How much movement do I have? I'm going to run towards the door. As far as I can. What is it that I see? Is that Pino?
Pino? Yeah, and he's tiny and flying, so you can occupy that space.
Okay. So I've gotten to the door. And that's my turn.
So you'd have to run around Felix, but you can get there running towards the door.
Oh, okay.
That will bring us up to Amson. So you're bamped in with Felix as Ellery jumps out immediately from the sphere, sprinting towards the door. You hear the storm behind you already surging.
Oh boy. Okay. So Amson's going to run up to the door. He's going to touch Pino, and then he's going to touch the door, because Arcane Lock's a touch spell, and then he's going to cast Arcane Lock on the door.
And fun fact about the spell storing item, you are not casting the spell, you are producing an effect, so it costs no components, and your invisibility does not break.
Oh, I'm still invisible. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, it's a weird and situationally, but kind of fucked up thing. I love it. All the doors will be locked from now on.
Nice. Okay. So that's my action. That's my movement. I actually still have 5 feet, so I'm going to move 5 feet back, away from the door. And then all I have left is a bonus action, but I don't really want to use it right now, I think. How many inspirations do I have left? I've got max inspirations. Right, because we took a short rest. Okay, so, I guess I'll get a inspiration down for Ellery right off the bat. So, Amson's going to sing for the first time in a while. Ellery's got hell to sell in the form of spells. Please just see spells for you and me. Don't be bad, or else she might get mad. You'll get a bruise if you light up her fuse. And that's everything I got, so that's my turn.
Okay. You see the Mind Flayer quickly turning around, beginning to lift up their hands, but they are currently surprised and unable to do anything. That will bring us up to, as an aside, I'm still not super clear on how to do surprise rounds, and what I've kind of done is, Felix, you basically acted first and then gone through the initiative.
I figured that was what you're doing, so I'm fine with you skipping me here. I figured that was what's going on.
Yeah. And that way since you caused all this to happen, you get to go first no matter what. So that will bring us up to Ball. You're in the sphere. Ellery just pushed through.
Ball will use his action to push through the sphere as well.
Okay. So you push through the sphere, landing in this room. You see some of your friends as well as this tentacled monstrosity and a storm towards the end of the room.
It still looks dark on my screen. With the Mantle of Flame, it should be 30 bright light and then 30 feet dim light after that. Unless it's just supposed to be this dark.
Better?
Yes, it is. All right. Let me see what I'm dealing with. Oof, what is that thing? Sorry. Just kind of surveying the room here. I think to avoid getting hit by that other dude, I will kind of make my way closer to the brain, which should be about there, going around to the left of Felix. And then with my bonus action, I'm going to use my sorcery points to cast Immolation on the brain, which is a dexterity saving throw.
That is an 18.
That will succeed.
Does it take half damage?
Oh, good point. I'm not sure. Half as much damage. Yeah, so it's half damage, which would be 32 halved to 16 fire damage.
And what does this look like? Is it a column of flames? Is it just burst into flames? What does it look like?
I think just a first Ball kind of sidesteps Felix, and just as Ball starts to kind of charge towards the brain, you just kind of see, as Ball's running, almost kind of flames build up at his feet, and then just kind of the flames seem to rush past him, and just kind of almost like when you have like a TNT thing and you ignite, like you press the button down and it just follows a little trail and then eventually blows up right on top of the brain. Though in this case, it, for whatever reason, the flame looks a little stifled.
It could be the pool of this liquid goo that vanquishes some of the flames or the storm itself. And just as a note, Ball, this is an issue for you since you're tall, but that ring that marks the pool is about a 5-foot tall wall. And each kind of stair is about 5 feet up. So it would be difficult for, if you were way down where Ellery or Amson is, to be able to see the brain at all, since it's in the pool. But Ball, you can, since you're tall. But the line of flames rushes up the stairs and into this pool, diving in, slamming into it as the flames sizzle and burn, steaming off some of this strange, thick, mucusy liquid. Anything else for you, Ball?
Just a quick rule check. If I cast something that is a concentration spell, I don't know, is it concentration just to maintain it? So, for example, Immolation, if they were to fail the save, then I can keep concentration to keep the thing burning.
No, unfortunately, when you cast another concentration spell, it will break your concentration on the first.
Okay. Sorry, Ellery. No more protection from good and evil. Lasted a whopping 10th of a round.
Anything else for you, Ball?
No, that'll be everything.
Vesper.
I'm gonna get the deck of cards out and deal myself a hand of solitaire, and no, I'm gonna run out of the sphere, obviously.
Okay. Roll a d8 for me.
Okay. 7.
Okay.
Okay.
You force your way out of the sphere, arriving next to Felix in the room. Pulsing, buzzing, purple circuits. A storm towards the end of it. Ball flaming. Tentacled creature to your right, turning around to face you all. You hear the stomping of creatures beyond the door. What do you do?
Well, that was my action. So my bonus action, I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon next to... hang on. Where do I want to cast it? If I cast it next to the brain, can I still attack it, even though I can barely see it from here?
Let me look at the spell.
Because the spell doesn't say a creature I can see, it just says creature within 5 feet of the weapon.
Can you see the brain there?
On the map, I can.
So there's 5 feet of stairs and then a 5-foot wall. So you can guess it's somewhere up there, but you don't know exactly where it is. So you could try to, but you can't actually see it. As far as putting your weapon near it.
Yeah. Okay.
You'd be guessing.
I'll cast it here then next to the Mind Flayer.
Okay.
And attack it.
All right, go for it.
That's very good. That's 27.
Yeah, that'll hit.
I didn't say level, so second, I guess.
Spectral silver gold bow drawing back.
And does 8 force damage.
All right.
And then, should I move? I'm just going to get myself up against the wall in the corner here. And that'll be my turn.
Okay, so that'll bring us up to this creature here. This floating creature about 10, rising to 15 feet into the air, this small sphere about the size of a golf ball, brightens as purple light beams towards Ellery. That is a 19 against you, Ellery.
I am going to go ahead and cast Shield.
Does that mean it doesn't hit you?
That means it does not hit me.
Okay. So this laser bursts from the sphere, and as it hits you, the shield erupts out, forcing it back. It's still like a spotlight, has Ellery in its light, but the laser was unable to penetrate. And bring us down here.
Are they not surprised?
Good point. These aren't. These guys are surprised. This isn't. And this guy is going to do something. I need Ball, Felix, Vesper, and Ellery to make intelligence saving throws. As this buzzing overload of psychic thoughts begins to trample into your minds.
I know it's early, but I'm going to use my inspiration on this.
So am I.
Oh, thank God.
And this is intelligence, you said?
Yes.
Intelligence.
21.
I'd also like to use my bardic inspiration on that. What size die is that?
It's a D10.
I also rolled a 21. Ball, how are you?
I used my inspiration, and that is a 9 anyway.
I don't think a 5 is going to help you. Sorry, buddy.
That's all right.
It's 18 for me.
You know what? Just in case, I'm going to give +5 to Ellery, so she for sure passes.
Okay, and as this surge of energy, mind thoughts erupt through Vesper, Felix, and Ellery, you take 16 points of psychic damage as these thoughts race through. Ball, you take 32 and are stunned.
Because I'm resistant to psychic, I take half. Freedom of movement doesn't affect the stunned stuff, does it? I don't think so. All right.
And concentration check would be a 10 DC, right? I'm so bad at these.
Correct.
In this case, yes.
I maintain protection from evil and good.
And the storm stays up.
And that will bring us, we're coming back around, surprised.
If that was the brain's turn, it needs to make another strength save.
That is a 19.
I'm pretty sure that makes it. Yes. All my numbers are different now.
There's buzzing on my end. Hillary, you're going to be on deck in a second, but first...
Okay. Do you know what it is and how long it's likely to last?
Probably not that long as a shaver, but what are you going to do? There is buzzing coming from the circuits of this strange alien foreign city as you guys hear a loud slam of something against this door, and the door locks the locking arcane lock. Just locks this door.
It locks it and adds +10 to the difficulty to open it.
Okay. So you can hear, with each slam coming from the other side, you can see both the door shake and the arcane magical energies that kind of form this strange shield-like barrier locking the door in place, kind of surge in resistance from this. It's holding out for now, but you're not for sure for how long. Ellery.
How tall is this rim around the edge of the pool?
It's 5 feet from the platform that Ball's on. So it's 15 feet above where your floor is.
Okay. And then 10 feet above the floor where the mind flayer is?
Correct.
I'm not confident I can get a good angle on this, so I am going to use my bonus action to use the scroll of spider climb that I have from Felix.
You would know that it is concentration.
Oh, never mind. Right. Gosh darn it. Okay, so I'm going to try and send a lightning bolt at the brain from the storm sphere. And it's in the middle of the sphere. So if I can't see the sphere, if I can't see the brain, what effect does that have on me trying to send lightning at it from the storm? Like, can I attempt that with disadvantage, or?
I was reading the spell. It doesn't say a creature you can see.
Okay.
I don't think it specifies that, so I think that was so weird. The lightning just senses it. Make a straight roll.
Okay. Wait, so would that be a straight roll, not including the advantage that I get for it being inside the sphere?
I guess technically you would have advantage according to the rules. So we'll do that for now, and I'll look at it later. Because it doesn't say a creature you can see, which I think is weird, but we'll go with it.
It is a little weird, but that was a 26 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
And I can't seem to remember how anything works today. Should have cast this at a higher level, but I didn't think of it. So that's too bad for me. That's 12 points of lightning damage. So that's my bonus action, and then as my action, as I drop dice all over the place, because I'm in great shape right now, I'm going to cast, as my action, Eldritch Blast, with 2 beams going towards the Mind Flayer, and 1 beam going towards this weird little orb that tried to laser me. So, against the Mind Flayer, that's 2 17s to hit.
Those both hit.
Okay. For 18 points of force damage against the Mind Flayer. And then that's 19 to hit against the orb.
Misses. As the blast flies up towards this small target, zipping around, slamming into the wall behind it.
Okay. And I think I'm going to move a little bit and tuck into this little corner here. And that's my turn.
Okay, before Amson, you go. The Elderbrain uses one of its legendary actions as there is a pulse from it towards you, Ball. Energy and thoughts buzz like a migraine behind your eyes, sinking into you, breaking your concentration on any spell. And are you concentrating on a spell?
He is not.
Oh, I thought it was concentrating on immolation.
No, that ended when it didn't work.
Okay. Well, that's stupid. All right. Amson, up to you.
Cool. All right. So still invisible. Amson's going to run a little bit up the stairs away from the door. I don't want to be near this when it busts open. While he's running up, he's going to drop his invisibility and cast blindness. Hopefully it works on the Illithid. So it needs to make a Constitution save.
As a natural 21.
Damn it. Definitely save. Alright, so Amson's going to keep running. He's going to run a little bit closer to Ball. And as he's running closer to Ball, he's going to use another inspiration to sing to him as well. He's going to sing, I'm singing a Ball, I'm giving him praise. He's on the attack with the heat of the blaze. Oh, he's burning for days. And it's sweet, sweet, sweet victory. It's his for the taking. It's his for the fight. Etc.
Ball looks at you, stunned.
It lasts 10 minutes. You're good. And that is Amson's turn.
Okay, that will bring us up to the Mind Flayer. It's going to run down. I think from there. So he runs down to the door, almost putting his back against the door, shaking from the slams coming from the other side of it. As it puts its hands to the temples, the tentacles coming from its face form and shape into some strange pattern, twisting and turning in robotic, rhythmic patterns, as a pulse of buzzing psychic energy races out in a cone towards Vesper, Amson, Felix, and Ball, who have to make I believe it's intelligence saving throw.
Don't like that.
17.
This time I'm going to use what's it called? Tides of Chaos to get advantage on the roll.
19 for Felix.
For Ball, it is. I'm going to use my inspiration just in case. It's 1d8 or is it 1d10 now?
A d10, I think.
Okay, perfect. So that's a 21 for Ball.
15 for Ellery.
So instead of 30, each of you only take 15 points of psychic damage and you are not stunned as this blast rolls over you.
I lose concentration on protection from moving good, though.
And that will be his turn. That will bring us up to, as a lair action, you sense a purple pulse, a bright light coming from the top, coming from out of the storm, as you see these angled panels of purple light, these ethereal shields of psychic energy that thrust out, coming, forming, overlapping until a dome is created around the brain. And that will bring us to Felix.
What? A dome of what?
Of purplish light.
Okay, well, I'm going to do what I was going to try and do anyway. You know what? Fuck it, no. I turn around, look at the Mind Flayer, and I cast Autoluke's Resilient Sphere on him, so he has to make a dexterity saving.
It's a 10.
Fails.
What does that look like?
I think Felix is going to turn around and drawing his quill out is just going to draw some kind of rune very quickly in the air in Draconic, and then this pink orb will kind of collapse in around the Mind Flayer.
The creature tries to jump out of it, but is too late, being forced back into this cage, trying to force his way out. Anything else for you, Felix?
No, but nothing, not physical objects, energy, or other spell effects can pass through the barrier.
Okay. That will bring us up to Ball.
I will bonus action just to move Pino, but that's it.
Okay, Ball.
All right, so for my action, I'm going to be stunned. And then with my bonus action, I'm going to continue to be stunned. And I think with my movement, I'll decide not to move at all. And I think that covers it.
Okay. At the end of your turn, repeat that intelligence save.
Say 17.
I went reaction plus 5. 23.
Oh, perfect. 22.
Whatever.
22 total?
Yes.
Okay. trying to bear your will against this psychic force overwhelming, locking you up. You can't think to move. You try to struggle against it, and what breaks it through is you can hear the words of Anson, mumbled and distant at first, but you latch onto them, and clinging to them, you're pulled out as you're suddenly unstunned at the end of your turn. That'll bring us up to Vesper. Let me just read. George, I'm not following. I may be missing something.
Never mind. I might be misremembering something, but don't worry about it. I'll research.
Okay. Yeah, let me know if I'm doing something wrong. That will bring us up to Vesper.
I'm going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 up here to the top platform. And what I'm going to try and do, I'm going to throw my returning dagger at the sphere and just see if anything can pass through it. And I'm basically aiming at the brain, but not awesome. No, 11.
The dagger, as it slams into this purple light wall, the dagger bounces off before returning to you.
Yeah, figured. Okay. And then I'm going to bonus action move my bow 20 feet to the bottom of the bottom stairs. And I guess that's all, folks.
Okay, that will bring us up to the glowing orb sentinel spotlight upon Ellery. That is a 12 to hit you. Ellery has another laser flies towards you, shifting easily to the side. You see a minute singe mark on the wall behind you. You hear another slam against the door, rattling it on the other side. And that will bring us up to him. And an Ellery for the Stormseers at the start of their turn.
At the end.
The end, okay.
Oh, yeah, where is that so we don't get in it?
It basically overlaps with the pool.
Oh, it's the blue. Okay,
it's
got it.
It's the blue line, yeah. So normally there's a pink line, but yeah, blue. Let's see. So it is going to do nothing. You hear more stomping from beyond the wall. Another slam against the wall. The doors behind you. You can see some of the physical and arcane pieces are beginning to take its toll, though it's still holding fast for now. And that will bring us back up to Ellery.
Did the brain make its saving throw against the storm?
It did. That is strength, right?
Yeah.
It fails.
Okay.
Actually, it's going to use legendary resistance to auto pass that.
Okay, so I think it doesn't take any. Let me just double check that.
Correct on Storm Share.
Thanks.
No worries. Rolodex of useless knowledge.
And
Not
Ellery,
useless.
up to you.
Okay, so how big is the dome around the brain?
It is a 20-foot diameter.
Okay.
So it's not quite, it's about half the size of your storm.
But the core of the storm is still inside, which means that I will go ahead and use my bonus action to cast, or to send a lightning strike from the center of the storm to the brain.
Yeah, for it.
That's a natural. Oh wait, no, that's yes. I'm forgetting what takes a save and what's an attack roll. That's natural 20.
Roll damage.
Let's see. I dropped one of my d6s.
This is lightning. Can you max it, or is it just thunder that you can max?
Save that. We'll get through.
Okay.
Honestly, I think this might be a better place to use that. If I'm
you crit, so you got double damage, right?
Crit, that's going to be better, even if it's not doing damage to both.
Okay. Up to you.
So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do Channel Divinity and send all of Voltimary's wrath into that lightning, which is 8 times 6 is
48.
48. So that's 48 points of lightning damage to the brain.
It's actually not bad because he doesn't get a save on that.
Mm-hmm. So that's my bonus action. And
Which means it needs to make a concentration check of a 24
ooh.
for the Wall of Force. There's advantage on it, but still, that's a 24. 25.
Damn.
It's pretty good at those. You see the wall of force of these purple panels kind of tremble and shakes, fade away as the lightning surges, slamming into the brain in the pool, spreading like hands out from it through the mucousy water. But the panels return, clinging on.
Well, since I don't really know exactly what works or doesn't work on these panels, I'm going to go ahead and, as my action, cast Eldritch Blast. All 3. Let's say 2 beams. Actually, no. Let's see 1 beam to start and then see where I go from there with the others.
And so since you did Tides of Chaos, do you need to do something with that?
Oh, yes, I do. When I... do you want me to do that first or after we deal with the... Oh, wait, no, wait.
The storm thing triggered it, didn't it? Or that Eldritch Blast triggered it.
So the storm
was already there.
Was already there. The Eldritch Blast is...
what triggers it?
Well, the Eldritch Blast is a cantrip.
Okay.
So I don't think that does trigger.
Okay. So 1 beam towards the panels. The beams slam into the panels, but aren't able to make it through.
Then I will send the other 2 beams at this little annoying orb.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
That's 19 and 11.
Both miss. This tiny, darting, quick, small target shifting through the air. Anything else for you?
I believe that is it for me.
Okay. That will bring us up to Amson.
Ooh, there's a couple things that I could probably do. Remind me, what's the Mind Flayer doing at the door?
So he ran down there to psychic wave you, and is now kind of looking back out at you.
But he is trapped in a bubble.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's in the bubble now. Thank you.
Okay, so both are surrounded by orbs of force that are impenetrable. Great. I don't know.
Door's looking a little shaky.
Yeah, that's true. Sure, why not? So Amson's going to cast a spell he hasn't cast yet, but talked about quite a lot. He's going to cast Wall of Force, and he's going to create a bunch of panels of force. I'll draw them in a bit. And we'll say like purpley kind of like light force stuff in front of the door. And I'll try to do a different purpley.
Okay. That light shimmers across, forming another barrier in front of the doors. Anything else for you, Amson?
Amson's going to move back a bit, away from the Mind Flayer, across the room and towards Vesper, but otherwise that is his turn, ending kind of on the second staircase.
Okay. Felix, you're going to be on deck. First is the Mind Flayer inside of the sphere, the giant hamster ball trying to get out of it. I don't think he has... Super useful. Would he be aware of any, like, use his action to try to break it or anything like that? I don't think that's the case, but
there isn't one for that
Okay.
spell, so he would not be aware of any, no.
Okay.
He can move around like a hamster ball a little bit at half his speed. I don't know how that's going to work with stairs, but he can roll.
He's going to cast telekinesis on himself.
Okay.
And he's going to move himself around. I think that's all he does now. He's just trying to figure out a way to get out. So he kind of floats up into the air, about 10 feet into the air, but is having trouble escaping. He is currently trapped. That brings up to lair action. Felix, you're on deck in just a second. Ball, make a charisma saving throw.
Just checking if this crown gives me advantage on all. Okay, charisma checks only. Okay.
I believe I
That's
can
a
use
19.
bad luck on this.
If you choose.
I'm going to go ahead just in case. So that's a 1d4 bonus.
Do you want me to roll it, or do you want to roll it?
I don't really have a preference. I can roll it if you want.
Yeah, if you want to roll it, since you're bending luck.
It's a 3.
All right, so that's a total of 22.
So, as you're rushing up, burning, crowned, Avelmer out, mantle of flame surrounding you, illuminating the space, you feel a sudden force of will coming from the pool upon you, trying to control, trying to bend to your will, but you take a step and then another, with Ellery sparking with the electricity of the storm, creating an arc from the storm to you, Ball. The flames reaching out like a hand to meet those of the lightning, kind of weaving together like a rope to pull you out, and you are not forced to stay, and you can move freely. Felix, up to you.
Okay. Are there any objects flying around in the storm in his bubble? Not the mind flayer, the brain.
Yeah, there's probably some loose stones and maybe pieces of crystal circuitry that have broken loose from the storm.
I do not know if this will work, but catapult here just says, oops, no, why is that doing an attack? Choose one object weighing 1 to 5 pounds within range, which is 60 feet, and make it fly in a direction. So I'm going to try and cast catapult on a rock inside to fling it at the brain. I'm going to do that at 2nd level.
Is that a dex save?
It is.
That is a 12.
That will fail, so that's going to be 4d8 bludgeoning damage.
Ouch.
Well, that's cocked. 11 plus... Ooh, I rolled well. That's 25 bludgeoning. And then, with my bonus action, Pino is going to fly over here, and one of his little claws is going to reach up, unstick the wine bottle, and then he is going to force strike the little floaty orb, or try to at least. So that is a 24 to hit.
That'll hit.
Rolled pretty well. That's not much, but that is, max, so 9 force damage.
Only had 1 hit point as it burst, shatters. Little pieces of crystal and metal falling onto the ground.
Fuck yeah, Pino.
And he needs to make a concentration check. He's pretty good at those. Let's see. Roll pretty well. Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah,
on that damage. Yeah.
12.
Anything else for you, Felix?
No, I think that's going to be it. That's all I got.
That will bring us up to Ball.
Just to clarify, does this brain still have this kind of purple orb around him?
There is still a force around it, yes.
And just so I don't do anything stupid, since Ball has come out of his stunned form. Has he noticed, like, this is not allowing magic through, or kind of still to be determined?
Maybe still to be determined. The Eldritch Blast didn't go through, the dagger didn't, but the lightning inside and the shifting of materials by Felix through his own version of telekinesis inside catapulting has worked.
All right. So Ball is going to take that and assume he needs to get a little closer. And he will kind of walk in, and maybe he will take, kind of like before he fully takes a step in, just kind of push his hand through and see if his hand vaporizes. When he does
pushing it through the storm.
Basically, Ball wants to get up to the brain. So pushing it through this purple force field.
So trying to push through that force field, you're unable to.
So Ball can't go through, is what you're saying?
Correct. So the sphere surrounding the brain is smaller than the storm, so you could get that far if you wanted to, but that's where the force field is.
I think Ball will try to do something anyway. Just make sure I do this right. Ball will just try it. He's going to do, with his action, do Fire Step and see if he can get himself into the sphere. So ideally, he is going to be trying to position himself directly behind the brain, if it succeeds.
So trying to Fire Step into it, as soon as you form, teleporting through, trying to something on this side, this plane, the ethereal that you're stepping through, blocks you on that side as well. You're shunted back.
All right, I guess I don't know what to do here. I think bonus action. Ball just can't really do anything. Maybe just in case, I will use sorcery points to cast Protection from Evil and Good on myself to maybe prevent myself from getting screwed up again.
You technically wouldn't be able to do that because you did try to cast with your action.
Oh, good point. All right, Ball can't do anything. That's the end of my turn then. I guess, yeah, Ball stands there and looks frustrated.
Crown burning, trying to get through, unable to. Vesper, up to you.
Okay, I think I'm understanding this correctly. So, as Vesper's kind of watching everyone not able to get through, but magic appearing inside of it works, she is going to cast Insect Plague inside the wall. It's a 20-foot radius sphere centered on a point that I choose within range, which of course is going to be on our brain boy.
Okay, so insects begin buzzing inside of the storm.
He needs to make a Constitution save.
That is a 20-something.
Yep, so he'll take half
24.
damage. Oh, which isn't awesome. It's only 11 piercing damage. Halved. Or no, that'd be 11 piercing damage total, so then halved too. 5.
The insects trying to form inside, being pulled around by the storm immediately, try to sting in, try to force their way past this mucus covering, finding it difficult. What else for you, Vesper?
Not necessarily. I'm just gonna... No, because I can't get through to the Mind Flayer, so I don't think I can do anything with my spiritual weapon. So I'm just going to concentrate as hard as I can on this plague.
Okay. That would bring us down here. Another slam against the door. You can see the door itself is becoming pushed ajar as they are trying to slam the door forward, which immediately the door runs into the wall of force from Amson. They're beginning to pull it the other direction now. Seems the lock has been broken, and they will soon be able to open the door in the other direction, but not this turn. And that will bring us up to here. This buzzing, pulsing energy through the circuits leading towards the brain seems to be hooked in somehow, surrounded by a force field. The panels suddenly drop. There's a moment of quietness before these horrible whispers of mind thoughts flood. I need Ball, Vesper, Felix, Amson, and I think that's it. Pino, if he can, make an intelligence saving throw.
I'm going to use my advantage this time.
That landed in my tissue, or my, and I don't know what that was.
It's a 12
dirty
for
20.
Ball.
I'm going to use Portent on myself, so that's a 22.
And I got a 21. Pino, who is not immune, got a 4.
Okay, so Ball and Pino take 42 points of psychic damage and are stunned.
Bye, Pino.
And
You did great.
Vesper, Amson, and Felix take 20 points of psychic damage and are not stunned. And that'll bring us down here.
Felix will definitely retain Resilient Sphere.
Okay.
And I barely maintained the insect plague.
And you'll hear more stomping from beyond. You can see lights above as more of those sentinel orbs begin to converge on your location. That will bring us back up to the top.
Dirty 20 concentration on Wall of Force.
Okay. As the door, the lock broken, is pulled in the other direction, revealing two giants that are attempting to force their way through, but are getting a little stuck on this wall of force. You see they are tall, maybe 16 to 18 feet tall, stone gray skin, marbled. They have these squid-like, weird, strange creatures attached to the back of their heads. Their eyes kind of glazed over, carrying these large clubs in which they were slamming against the door and now proceed to slam against the wall of force. But unable to get through, that'll bring us up to Ellery.
Klaus, I'm sorry. Was that technically the brain's turn?
Yeah.
It ended its turn in the thing, so it needs to make a con save for
and the strength save for the storm.
Con save, it passes.
Okay.
And strength save, it passes too.
So 30 half to 15.
Okay. Nothing for the storm then.
And that will bring us up to Ellery.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use my bonus action first to once again send lightning at this asshole brain. 19 to hit.
That it?
And that is... I always forget how many. Oh, shoot. I can't keep track of my D6 because I got to roll that again because I couldn't tell which were the ones I just rolled. Okay. That's 10, 13, 15 points of lightning damage to the brain.
That's another strikes down.
And then I am, for my action, and this will give me a surge, I'm going to go ahead and drop a fireball a little bit behind the brain to avoid hitting Ball with that.
What's the range on fireball?
150 feet.
Okay. So it will have to be elevated
based
on your altitude. But you can do that.
So the brain will have to make a dex save.
That is a 12.
That does not save. So let's see. More ones than I would have liked. But we'll see. 10, 15, 19 points of fire damage.
Okay. As the fireball explodes above it, burning down, you notice it's covered in this liquid mucus that seems to protect it some, but still, the explosion goes off. Anything else for you, Ellery? Besides that surge?
That surge. That surge is a thing.
D100.
Let's see what I get. That's a 54.
Okay. You may have felt a strange nauseousness in your stomach, and it immediately evaporates.
Huh. Okay.
Anything else for you, Ellery?
I'm a little bit nervous about these giants, but I'm also nervous about that brain blast. So I think I'm gonna stay here for now.
Okay.
And end my turn.
That'll bring us up to Amson.
Alright, so this turn is gonna be more than likely rather underwhelming. So I can't see the brain very well because it's like a 5-foot rim, and then you said it was like 5 feet down inside the pit?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay, so they're even though Amson's 5'10", there's no way he's gonna be able to see it from there.
You'd have to get closer.
I don't want to get closer to that. Okay, so Amson's gonna 2nd level healing word ball as a bonus action. That's an underwhelming 6 points of healing.
Ball feels slightly revitalized.
Yeah. What am I gonna do as an action? I don't know. I don't have anything. Yeah, I can't really do anything. You know what? Amson's going to ready a firebolt. So that if...
I'm sorry, but you can't do that.
I can't do that.
Concentrating...
Oh yeah, that's
takes
right.
your concentration
Right.
to
It
hold
breaks concentration.
a spell.
Damn it.
Please don't do that. I'm sorry.
I won't do that.
So you can, but please don't.
I won't do that then. Yeah, I don't have anything else. Okay, I'll just maintain concentration on Wall of Force. No. I will sing a counter charm. That's what I will do, because that doesn't require concentration. So everybody gets advantage on saving throws against being frightened or charmed. Whatever. That's my turn.
I love the idea of Amson just panic singing when he doesn't know what else to do.
In that like awkward sing song we all do, and we're scared, like, I don't know what's going on. Here's a song.
Best isn't it just a totally inappropriate song? I can't think of like Frozen. You just start singing Frozen. Let it go.
Okay, and that will bring us up to, if that's it for you, Amson, stay in there. That will bring us up to the Illithid. Mind Flayer still stuck in the hamster ball is going to just move the hamster ball. That's as far as it can go. It's floating about 5 feet above the ground. And that will bring us up to lair action as the sphere, or the force field, panels of purple form once again surrounding the brain. Felix.
Does that count as casting a spell?
Yes.
I would love to, but I need to see the brain.
Right.
Oh. It requires seeing the target.
Yeah,
Well,
I
the
think
brain
you're
is
too far
pretty tall. I assume it looks huge on the map. Is the brain high enough that if we do a little Pythagorean's theorem?
Actually, no, I don't. Yeah. When you see a creature within 60 feet of you casting a spell.
Yeah, so. Okay, well, we know that for the future. Oh well.
And is that its turn or no?
That was a lair action. So, Felix.
Oh, annoyed. Felix is going to, I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it, do another catapult, this time at 3rd level. So it has to make another dexterity saving throw.
Not good.
Okay. So I am going to roll these.
That's a fail. 9.
Yeah. So that is 9 plus not quite as good. 16 bludgeoning damage.
So nothing slams into it.
And I guess with my bonus action, Pino's dead, so let's bring out my other friend, and I will summon Aeon inside the dome.
Make an intelligence saving throw.
Oh, motherfucker. 29.
You're able to do so.
All right. I'll pop his little weird head out there. Come on, I'll work on it, but that's my turn.
Okay, Ball.
Oh, wait. Can I, just so I'm ready for it, if I move over here, can I see the brain?
Yes, you can kind of see over the rim.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Ball.
Ball is stunned, so Ball is unable to do anything.
At the end of your turn, make an intelligence save.
Ball is stunned.
And you remain so. There's a pulse of energy, Ball, into your mind as it erupts out from Ball at the end of your turn. And Felix, 5, 10, I think you're the only one in range. You take 14 points of psychic damage, erupting from Ball, as you can see a strange connection between the brain and Ball.
Does Ball take that as well, or is it just Felix?
Just Felix.
Okay, ow. I got it 23 on the concentration, so I'm good.
You're good. Vesper.
Can I see the brain from here?
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
I would like to cast Sacred Flame on it, please. Which is a dexterity saving throw.
There's a dome surrounding it.
Alright, can I not
Isn't
fit inside?
Sacred Flame is the one, it comes from around it because it ignores cover. It's not a throw, it's a
That is a
swing.
16.
That will not save. That's not amazing. That's only 10 radiant damage.
Okay. Wearing this, the brain is not as big as the previous one you fought, but it's connected to these circuits, energy pulling through them, but it's starting to be worn down.
And I'm just going to start getting the bow closer in case this thing goes down again. I can get it in there maybe.
Okay. And down here, there's more slamming against the wall of force from the giants. And that will bring us up to the brain itself. Is there anything at the start of its turn, or is it all end?
For the storm, it's at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, the same like.
You all hear,
What is it that you want? Why do you come here so eager?
and it disappears.
I will return. I see into your minds. I will add yours to my thoughts and collections.
Disappears. The wall of force dome surrounding it disappears. Ball, you're suddenly unstunned. The giants behind that were slamming on the wall suddenly look confused. The strange creatures attached to the back of their heads falling like squids onto the ground. You're more running, and the mind flayer in the sphere with their telekinesis moves themselves, but begins to fold their hands into the small of their back. Stops panicking quite as much. You can all hear in your minds.
So I hope you've satisfied with what you've accomplished here. Now, why are you here?
And that may be a good moment to take a quick break. We'll come back.
Doesn't need to make it saves.
It's gone.
What thing?
It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, there's nothing there. The insects are swirling around. The storm is swirling around.
It plane shifted.
Motherfucker.
Next time on Back to the Story.
We'll reduce this place to rubble, and we will build upon it pedestal. You there. You carry Alvomar. The purple circuits form a circle, this purple crystal, living and pulsing. At the center of this room is a pedestal of purple crystal that seems to connect directly into this dendritic, still functioning nerve.
This episode is continued in Part 2, which uploads Friday and will be available wherever you're listening now. For behind the scenes and more, check out our Tumblr, back-to-the-story at tumblr.com, and follow us on Twitter for updates at back2_the-story. And if you're feeling especially generous, feel free to buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/backtothestory. We'll see you next time in Norithil.